my name is Alexia Shepherd, and get ready because you're about to chat with Alexia.
We have got to talk about this.
Okay guys, so I'm already noticing that the lighting is a little off. I lost the shade for my ring light, so it's literally just the lights going like bang, bang, bang. So like, if you notice that as well, you're not crazy. I just lost the shade, like genuinely, and I can't find it, so that's why. Guys, we're back to the basics. We've got my signature cup and the light cranberry juice that I literally drank while I was preparing for this. If you're new here, this is a series where I do my makeup and we talk about anything and everything. I also just realized I don't have earrings on. Oh my gosh, I feel so naked. But today, so I've been seeing a lot of videos about the bratz lately. Like I saw Kenny JD's video where she discusses the live action movie Bratz. This YouTuber that my friend showed me, Call Me Kevin, who plays like games. I'm not like a gamer, but I enjoy watching people play like, I don't do like the war games, but like, you know, just fun games. And for fun, he played Bratz Rock Angels, which was so funny. So I figured, why not talk about the Bratz? But before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can find me on Instagram at Alexia Shep, on Twitter at Alexia Shep, and on TikTok as Alexia Shep, because who doesn't love TikTok? So the Bratz. You know, I was a child of the 2000s. I mentioned in one of my last chatting with Alexia's, I'm born in 98. So that makes me 22 years old. I liked dolls a lot. Like a lot. Like, it actually makes me sad because my nieces don't really play with toys the way that like my generation did. Literally, I'm 12 years older than my oldest niece. We're not too far apart. But I have noticed, like, in kids in general, not just them, like, just kids born, like, especially, my niece was born 2010. They don't really play with toys as much. They, like, YouTube, like, she loves YouTube. She loves her little apps. Like, they kind of do things like that. It's not really as in like high demand anymore. But growing up, which I would die to find this, I have a hunch that my mom has this like hoarder closet for me. Like it's kind of like a shrine of like my life, and I have a hunch that it's in there. But I had my dollhouse, which my dollhouse was my pride and joy, and it was like 3 stories long, and when you folded it, it looked like a house on the outside, and then you could open it like this. I don't remember if it was like an on brand or anything. I don't think it was, but it was purple and it was so cute. And guys, I literally had a trunk of dolls. My grandmother was known for her love of yard sales, which she passed on to quite literally all of us. I love a good yard sale. You don't see them as much. I actually want to have one when this pandemic is over. She passed on her love for them, and that's where I got most of my dolls from, was yard sales. I didn't really get new dolls a lot, which honestly I feel like new dolls are kind of a waste, because it's like, unless they're like a collector or something, you're just gonna ruin them anyway. Like I want to see any girl that grew up around the time I did that was like, I keep all my dolls in just pristine condition. Like, no. And that brings me to the Bratz, because the majority amount of dolls that I would like to get were Bratz. Okay, I had my Barbies. I actually had the Barbie lavender convertible car that they sold, and it was remote control, but I never used the remote control because we had carpet, so there was like no point. But I would just like roll it around. It was so cute, you guys. But that was like the most I had, and it sucked because the Bratz couldn't really fit in there. But I was a Bratz girl all the way. I just felt like they put a lot of thought and individuality in their characters, like, you know what I mean? And the dolls that I really liked, because you know Bratz have different like sectors, just like Barbie. Like Barbie has like Fairytopia, Barbie, all her different like little careers. Bratz had them too, but I felt like they put a lot of thought into them. Me and my cousins, we loved watching the Bratz movies, even though the animation, if you look back on some of those movies, is hideous. Like my eyes, oh my god. Like I honestly would love for them to like, I think they, am I mistaken, or are they making a comeback? Because they posted on Instagram about Black Lives Matter. So I'm like, are you guys making a comeback? Like I would love for y'all to make dolls, but like also, like I said, kids don't really play with dolls as much. So like I don't know if they would be necessarily successful or as successful as they were. But like all of my friends like and my cousins, like we loved the Bratz. The movies were amazing. It was a sleepover favorite of ours. But you guys, I mentioned the sectors of Bratz earlier because my favorite, which this is probably gonna be like a little bit weird because they didn't get as much attention as I felt they deserved, was Bratz babyz. Okay, the Bratz babyz, let me tell you. First of all, when Bratz babyz came out, I was so excited. Like I was like that kid that was like, I need Bratz babyz. Like I was so excited. They looked, oh my god, can we talk about it though? That could not fly today. Like that baby is wearing a full lace front unit, a full face of makeup. That would not fly today. That could not. Like there would be riots. And like I see where they're coming from. When they came out, I was in love. I was also a minor, so I wasn't thinking about all that underlying societal pressure. And I've only been to Toys R Us. Well, no, that's not true. I've been to Toys R Us a couple of times as an adult when it was closing to see the sales. But as a kid, when it was like popping, I'd only ever been one time. It was like my 8th or 9th birthday. And my parents were like, we're gonna go to Toys R Us and you can pick out whatever toy you want. And you did not have to tell me twice. I was like, Bratz babyz, where are you? And I had a girl, her name was like Melanie, something like that. I wanted Sasha, but they were out. And I got Melody instead. And me and that doll had so much fun. Like I literally played with that doll so much, you guys. Like it's kind of crazy, but I think part of that was because I got her from Toys R Us, you know what I mean? Like, and I had never really been like I was not like that kid that my parents were like, we're gonna spend buckets and buckets on dolls, because like, and I can see where they're coming from. Leave a comment if you had a big tub of dolls, because like I remember I thought my tub was huge, but then I would go around like sleepovers and they would have like 5 of my same tubs. I remember one time I went to this girl's house. She was a rich girl, right? She was like very well off. And I remember being like, there's nothing else. Like she had the best room. Her room was so cool. And now she's like an Insta model, like of course, but her room was so cool. She's actually the same girl that introduced me to Glee. So shout out to you, girl. I still remember you. She was so rich. Like there's just no other way to put it. And I remember she was giving us a tour of her house at her sleepover, which me being invited was already a big deal because like all her friends were like, what? But she was like a nice girl. Like she wasn't like bitchy like her friends. Like she was just like, everybody's my friend, whatever. We go to her basement. Her basement was turned into a full playroom for her. She had a stage built. A stage in her house. And I look and I'm like, oh my god, there's a stage? I look and there's this like really wide wooden rocking chair, and it had not 1, not 2, but 6 American Girl dolls in that chair. And American Girl dolls are like they're expensive. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, this is how the other half lives. But back to the Bratz. Bratz babyz are my favorite, not just because I cherished my doll that I actually got from Toys R Us, but the Bratz babyz movie is a cinematic masterpiece, okay? It's just funny because like these babies are literally like, they have drama like grown adults. It's like the weirdest thing. Like I'm like, oh my god, like these babies are like not playing, like they're not playing. So it's known that the Bratz songs are so good. Like Barbie has a couple of hits like that. I'm just like you, you're just like me, you're just like me. There's that one. And then the other Barbie song I remember is the one, I don't remember the movie it's from, but it's her and Teresa, and they're like singing in the very beginning of the movie, and they're like, wow, 2 voices, 1 song. And I was like, oh my god, like that's kind of deep. But the Bratz songs were bops, like literally bops. The Bratz babyz one, they literally like, it's like Bratz babyz, baby bottle with bling, doing a fashion thing. I'm like, oh my god, like yes. And then there's the one that they sing at the talent show. Okay, let's talk about these twins. I also don't know what it is about Bratz, But they have a thing for putting twins in their movie. There was that like weird, oh my god, the set of twins that gives me nightmares from Rock Angels. And I'm pretty sure they've been in other Bratz movies that like wear those pink dresses and they literally look like they've had way too much Botox at like 15. I don't even remember their names. That's how like irrelevant they are. And then there's the twins in Bratz babyz. I don't remember their name. I think one's name is Nora. That's literally what I remember. And I think she was the nice one. There's one that wore pink and one that wore red, and the red one was like the meaner one, and literally she bullies her freaking sister. There's a whole movie, and not only are they twins, but they have twin puppies. Like they literally, I was like, what is it with Bratz and twins? Like they loved to put a good set of twins, which if you're a twin girl, I'm not trying to come for you. I'm just saying that Bratz has a thing for that being in there, which I mean, in pop culture, twins represent a lot. I'm not gonna go on my pop culture rant. Literally in the beginning, you see the twins like arguing or whatever. And Nora, the sweet one, I cannot remember. Her name is Nita. I think the mean one's name is Nita. But Nora like spills some milk or something and Nita's like, oh my god, I need to wear a hazmat suit around you. Child, you can't even spell hazmat suit. Like what? I literally remember being like, I don't even know what that is. 9. How old are you? And you know what that is? That's probably my favorite Bratz movie, is the Bratz babyz movie. I never got to see the like Bratz superhero babyz movie. I always wanted to see it as a kid, but by that time I was getting a little older and it was like not a cool thing to like Bratz when you're that old. But that brings me to the last Bratz movie that I saw at a relative age where it was okay to like Bratz, which is that Bratz live action movie. When I saw it, I was like, okay, like, you know, this is something. I really liked the songs in that one too, like the you know it's all about me, sung by the Chelsea Stubb. Is that her married name? I know she goes by a different name now that she's married, but she was also on the show Baby Daddy on ABC, y'all. I love that show. Is that still on Netflix? I remember the first thing I thought was, oh my god, the girl that plays Jade is so pretty. Like I really remember thinking that and being like, oh my gosh, like this girl's everything. I felt like her like bone structure, and I still feel that way about her. Her name is Janelle Parrish, and I only know that because she was on a season of Dancing with the Stars and she was known for being on Pretty Little Liars, but I was like, no, that's Jade from Bratz. I honestly feel like it doesn't hold a candle to Bratz babyz though. It really doesn't. Like I felt like there was no real plot except for the fact that they need to like be friends again and we need to get back together. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cry me a river. Like, I want to see some, like, which, okay, they gave us a lot of montages. Like, Kenny JD pointed this out in her video. The movie is literally 90% montages, which is, like, fair to say for a lot of movies in the 2000s. But not that many. Like, literally, they had so many montages. I was like, oh my god, like, where's the actual detail? So, yeah, even, like, the me at that age was like, I'd rather watch Bratz babyz. Where's my eyeliner? Oh, here we go. Found it. Wow, I feel like a brat. But anyway, but I'm kind of glad that the Bratz are coming back because I knew this was gonna happen because literally I had a theory in high school. I was like, no, you guys, what happens is every 20 years, the last, like, okay, so let's say we're in the year 1980. People are gonna be nostalgic for the 1960s again. It's like every 20 years. So like in the 2010s, we were nostalgic for the 90s again. We came out with chokers and platform heels and like things from the 90s. And now that we're in the 2020s, we're barely in them. Well, this year has been a literal like young adult natural disaster revolution series. But even if it wasn't, at some point this decade we would be craving the early 2000s stuff, and you can already tell that it's happening right now with like the Bratz and like Playboy came out with like jogging suits with Misguided, and Juicy Couture is coming back. They came back with Forever 21, but I think that might have been last year, but we were on the cusp, so it's fine. And I'm sure that somebody like in fashion has like a better way to explain this and like knows what they're talking about. But I've always had that theory. I was like, every 20 years, ooh, first fall season chatting with Lexi. my pores still look like the set of holes. What are we gonna do? This is like a milestone. I never do falsies on here. Watch me mess them up. But I do love the Bratz fashion and overall aesthetic. Like, I feel like they have such a good, like, niche. And honestly, like, if I had the body for it, I would totally dress like a Bratz doll. I've been thinking about, like, which Brat would I say is my favorite. And honestly, obviously, for me, it's gonna be Sasha because I'm just like Issa Rae. I root for I want everybody black to win. And it was a doll that I could see myself in proudly. Like the black Barbie doll, she just felt like a Barbie that you just coated in the black skin color. She didn't really have a personality. None of them did except Barbie. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't really put that much thought into their characters because Barbie was kind of like the money maker. But the Bratz, they made sure to give them all like distinct qualities. And they all had like little pets. Like, okay, let's see if I get this right. Yasmin had a frog, unsanitary. Jade had a cat. Chloe had a pig, and Sasha had a bunny. And that also played into why I love Sasha so much, because I loved bunnies when I was little because I'm a spring baby and my birthday has fallen on Easter twice. So I just feel a connection with them as like a spring animal. It's so funny because in the Bratz babyz movie, they have their pets there. And the whole time, I like as an adult, I was like, so did they just like buy new pets, or are these the pets and they've just lived for like a crazy amount of time? Like Jade's cat, I could see that cat living for like 15 years and like going into her like, you know, teenage years. But like how long do bunnies live? Do bunnies live a long time? Okay, you know what? There's an explanation for the bunny, but the frog, her mom, like, I wonder if Yasmin's mom was like, hey, Yasmin's mom, like, hey, do you want like a dog? Do you want maybe a guinea pig? And Yasmin's like, no, it's a part of my brand. I need a frog, mom. So like, they just get her frogs like every time the frog dies. That's one thing about the live action movie that they left the pets out, which I get. Like, it would be weird to see like a live action Chloe just like hanging out with a pig, and like likewise with Yasmin and the frog. But like, I just felt like they didn't really capitalize on anything that the Bratz, like the animated and dolls, were like known for, except they did put the boys in there. So the Bratz had boys. Cameron and what's the other one's name? Dylan. Cameron and Dylan. They were in the movie. So like, that's like a step, but that was it. Like, they just like, there was no like through line, it felt like, except for they were the same, you know, character names, and the actors bared resemblance to the Bratz. It was just like so weird. It was like the weirdest thing. But like, honestly, at school, you were only a bad bitch if you liked the Bratz. Like, the Barbie girls hung out with the Barbie girls, the Bratz girls hung out with the Bratz girls. But honestly, like, from what I remember, everybody was a Bratz girl. I don't remember one person that was like, I like Barbie, not the Bratz. Ew. Like, literally. And I'm from the South, so you know, I could probably meet that person at some point. But I guess I just got lucky and it was like it was a Bratz world. But I'm honestly so glad that the 2000s are back, because you guys, honestly, like, every time someone's like, what year would you live in if you had the chance? I'm like, first of all, I'm black and a woman, so none of the years really catered to me as well in the past. But I always pick the 2000s because I'm like, it just seems so fun, especially to go like clubbing in the 2000s. Like, I'm sure it already exists, but I need someone to open like a 2000s themed bar and have everybody like dress up, and like that's all they play is like music from like 2000 to 2010. I'd even take to 2013 because that music is kind of fun, and I've become kind of nostalgic for those years too, believe it or not. I wish I was much cuter in those years, but puberty is a bitch. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did the falsies. It wouldn't have looked half as good. But yeah, that's it for this week's Chatting with Alexia. I feel like we're growing every day, and I'm so excited to get like new faces and people. Like, it's so fun. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and join the flock. If you don't know how I came up with flock, my last name is Shepherd. You guys are the sheep. We're a flock. I'm never gonna get a boyfriend, am I? Remember, you're a doll and shepherds live by the stars. I'll see you in my next video.